Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Tailgating capital of Major League Baseball, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we're inside tonight as the Cubs take on the Milwaukee Brewers in the first of a three-game series. Great to have you with us. Alongside Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs will play 6 of 9 on this trip against their own division, and that should be a good thing.
Oh, yeah, they've really dominated the NL Central so far this year. That's allowed them to open up a very big lead in the Central. 7.5 games better than the Pirates. There you see the breakdown against each of the teams within the division. The Cubs and the Pirates, the only two teams playing above 500 within the division at this point in the season.
Right-hander Kyle Hendricks will start this series, and he has put up really good numbers against the Brewers.
No, indeed he has. 7 starts, 4-1 with a 1.49 ERA. He's made 3 starts in this ballpark. He's pitched scoreless baseball in 2 of those 3 ball games.
And as we look at these 2 lineups tonight, you've got a couple of guys on each team off to terrific starts here in May.
Yeah, Ben Zobrist has already won a co-player of the week. Continues to swing a hot bat. Anthony Rizzo putting up big numbers. The Brewers, pretty good team offensively. 7th in the league in runs scored. Braun has really been swinging it well, as has Jonathan Lucroy.
And an honorable mention, Jason Hayward and Addison Russell have both been very good. We just didn't have enough room on the screen. Coming up, the Cubs and the Brewers. It's game 1 of a 3-game series and a 3-city road trip for the Northsiders.
On CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all, Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency. Low fares. Nothing to hide.
Welcome back inside Miller Park. Sun was out today, but pretty cold breeze off Lake Michigan. The Cubs bust up from Chicago late this morning. And after an off day yesterday, set for a 9-day road trip. We'll start here in Milwaukee. We'll head to San Francisco for the weekend and then finish up in St. Louis next week. As JD mentioned, the Cubs have a 7.5 game lead over the second place Pittsburgh Pirates. We've won 2 straight after losing the first couple of games of that series in Chicago. Brewers are 12 back, 16-22, and a game under 500 here at home. This is one of the Cubs' homes away from home because of the unbalanced schedule. It feels like we were just here, but it was last September.
Only 19 games against this club this year, as they did last year. The Cubs 14-5 against the Brewers last year. They've won their last 7 in this ballpark, so it feels even more like a home away from home. This Cubs team that has been so good on the road last year and so far this season, very comfortable here at Miller Park.
Not a huge crowd, but I see a lot of Cubs blue in the stands. Don't know if it'll be 50-50, but in some ways it will feel like a home game for the visitors. Kyle Hendricks for the Cubs, Chase Anderson for the Brewers. We'll probably see a lot of changeups tonight.
Yeah, 2 things that jump out at you about Chase Anderson. For a right-handed pitcher, he gets worn out by right-handed hitters. They're hitting .375 against him, and he has the highest home run rate in the National League. Home runs per 9 innings. He's really been hurt by the long ball. He's allowed 9 so far this year. So he's a right-hander, formerly of the Diamondbacks, who's been scuffling. Kyle Hendricks just the opposite, been throwing the ball very well. A very low ERA over his last 3 starts. We talked about his success against this club and in this ballpark. So, you know, he'll take the mound feeling good about his situation here. .53, the ERA for Kyle Hendricks over his last 3 starts. 0.49 his ERA in this ballpark.
Chris Guccione will call balls and strikes. David Rackley, first base umpire. Larry Vanover, the crew chief, is at second. Alfonso Marquez at third.
Yeah. Got the umpires. Now we got the ball players. We're almost ready to go.
Let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup written out by manager Joe Madden. Dexter Fowler in the leadoff spot. Jason Hayward with a 7-game hitting streak coming in. Chris Bryant batting third and playing left. Anthony Rizzo at first. Ben Zobrist batting 5th, playing second. Addison Russell in the 6th spot. Remember when he used to bat 9th? Keeps moving up the order. Javi Baez gets a start at third. Miguel Montero, second start off the DL. And the pitcher Hendricks batting 9th.
See where Craig Counsell has deployed his troops here tonight. Ryan Braun's in left, Kirk Neuenhuis center, Domingo Santana will patrol right field. Hill, VR, Jeanette Carter third to first, Jonathan Lucroy. He's one of the better ones in the league. He's behind the plate, and the Lexus pursuing perfection. Starting pitcher for the Brewers is the aforementioned Chase Anderson, 28 years of age. He made 7 starts. You see it's been a bumpy ride for him, 1-5. With a 6.11 ERA. He's lost his last 5 starts, 0-5, and his ERA in that stretch 8.88.
The leadoff man is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. If Dexter Fowler gets a hit here in this first at bat, Binny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to the Greater Chicagoland Food Depository.
Those reverse splits we showed you, switch in, might be tempted to swing from the other side against them, but it's a very uncomfortable situation for most guys.
Chase Anderson before every start, and he just did it. Draws his late father Robert's initials in the dirt behind the mound, and his two grandmothers who've also passed away. And here we go. First pitch strike, 92, well located from Anderson. Oh, 1 is right down the middle. Anderson also, before home starts, wears dad's socks, his cowboy boots, belt buckle, jeans, and pink polo shirt on the way to the ballpark. Nice way to honor him. And actually, his name is Robert Chase. He goes by his middle name.
Those are good factoids. I wasn't aware of that.
Do what we can. 54 degrees outside, 66 under the roof.
So attacking aggressively with the fastball here early on, and again, he's been good against left-handed hitters. They're hitting just 214 against him. That changeup is a real good weapon for him. There it is. There, no chase by Fowler, and no surprise either. Dexter probably wise to that changeup. You see the breakdown. It's a pretty liberal use of the change of pace for Anderson. We'll go 90 to 93 with the fastball.
Fowler in the air, deep right center, and near the wall. It's hauled in by Kurt Neuenhuis. Just got under it a bit. Gaps of play here, unlike Old County Stadium. You hit it well enough, you'll hit it out. Jason Hayward.
Yeah, ball carries pretty well here. Most hitters I've talked to say they see the ball well in this park.
Ball 1 on Jason. 7-game hitting streak, 10 hits, 5 walks. No extra base hits, so hitting for average, not for power, but baby steps, right? He got off to a pretty slow start.
Yeah, just start to have some success, getting a little bit better flow at the plate, and then hopefully start to drive the ball. Now, I haven't seen, this is our first look at Anderson. He actually pinch hit once against the Cubs, but this is the first time he's ever pitched against them. And I don't know if he normally works with this quick of a tempo, or if this is a guy who's really been scuffling, who's trying to change his approach a little bit, because it would make sense when you lost your last 5 starts and you have an ERA approaching 9 that you would want to come out and set an aggressive tone.
The 3-1 is a strike. I mentioned those alleys. It's 371 to the power alley in left center, 374 in the right center gap. I think it was like 390 plus County Stadium. Shallow center, and it's VR, the shortstop, to make the catch. Chris Bryant. And he looks at ball 1. That was 392 to County Stadium in the alleys. Best place to hit a home run there was right down the foul lines, 315. We'd be bundled up if we were over there today.
Oh, man. Yeah. Cold nights in that ballpark. Cold and rickety. Rickety comes to mind when you think about County Stadium, but not without its charms. Well,
Bernie's original chalet. He's at County Stadium. Now he has a dugout. I think that's a big slide. 2-1 is low and outside. Rizzo on deck.
Usually when you see a right-handed pitcher who really struggles against right-handed hitters, typically they don't have a good breaking ball. We'll see if Anderson finds success with a curveball. If not, he's going to have to really paint with his fastball.
That'll get out of play. He's won the 2 games at Wrigley Field in late April. Rain shortened series. 4-3 and 7-2. Three-2 is hit high in the air, deep center. Neuenhuis on the track. He leaps. He caught it. He caught it. He may have taken away a home run from Bryant. He had time to get under it. And that's how the top of the first comes to an end. Would have been close. Starting lineup, switch hitting Jonathan Villar in the leadoff spot, playing short. Scooter Gennett did not play at Wrigley. He was on the DL. Ryan Braun just missed a couple of games with a sore wrist. Lucroy's been deadly against righties this year. Carter's at first. Domingo Santana in right. Neuenhuis with that Carlos Gomez-like catch playing center. Aaron Hill recently had a 3-homer game. And the pitcher Anderson bats ninth.
Who's where for the Cubs tonight? Chris Bryant left, Dexter Fowler center, Jason Hayward in right, and Baez Russell on the left side of the infield, the Zobrist on the right, Montero behind the plate, Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher, Kyle Hendricks 2 up 2 down, 3.03 the ERA.
Ball 1 on VR.
It's a start number 7 for Kyle. He's been very good. 31 strikeouts. He's only walked 7. He's only allowed 1 home run.
Working with Miguel Montero tonight. That is just foul wide of third. All right, what do you think? Home run or not? I'm thinking maybe. My gut tells me it hits the top of the wall, and whether it hits the corner and bounces back in, or hits the top of the padding and goes out. That would have been the question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can we have replay? Can Joe challenge just to see if it would have gone out had he not caught it?
Yeah,
just for posterity.
Broadcasters replay. We can request one a game.
Swing and a miss for the first down.
Handy of a changeup. great action on that change. You know, it's about 75% sinkers for Kyle this year, and then he'll go with the changeup and occasionally the curveball.
Scooter Gennett had a strained oblique, actually went on the DL while the Brewers were in Chicago in late April. There's Craig Counsell, first full season as the Brewers manager. Ground ball to third, backhanded. Baez, 2 gone.
There's that breakdown. So not a real hard thrower, but he relies heavily on the fastball because he really locates it and he gets great sinking action on it. Very consistent so far with that sinker this year. Change up, a great complementary pitch coming out of the hand. The sinker and the changeup look very similar. Curveball is usually to a left-handed hitter, maybe second or third time through the order, just a little flip to get over on 0-0.
Braun back, missed 2 games, battling a sore wrist. He goes after that first pitch and puts a chopper to Russell. And a very quick 1-2-3 for Hendricks. We start the second inning. Some minor league honors. Dan Vogelbach off to a great start. Leads the Cubs minor league system in homers and RBIs and was a Pacific Coast League Player of the Week. Jason Bossler off to a great start as well. We saw Jason a fair amount during spring training. The Carolina League Player of the Week for the Myrtle Beach Pelicans.
Albert Almora continues to hit. He's got a 13-game hitting streak going. Well, Paul Blackburn down at Tennessee. He's got a 1.08 ERA.
Here's Rizzo to start the second. If you are into uniforms, I am. The Brewers, this is their 22nd home game. This is the 3rd time they've wore their home white ensemble. And that M, which is their current logo, it's the only time they wear it on their cap these days. The rest of the time, with all their other looks, they wear that old MB glove logo. So I don't know if they're inching toward having that come back as the main logo, but if so, I'm all for it. You know what else is different about these uniforms?
Would I be able to tell right now?
Yes, you should.
The patch on the sleeve?
No. We used to have a stripe on the pants.
They've been de-striped? You have a bad year, you lose a stripe for the relegation.
Yeah, the stripe around the sleeve. It's blue and gold. They had that right there down the pant leg. It's gone. Okay, our sartorial segment is over. Diving stab. Aaron Hill. He's the third baseman, but they were shifting against Rizzo. And the shift is designed to take away line drives.
So a lot of really good contact for the Cub hitters so far. 4 batters into this game. Fowler flirted with a home run. Chris Bryant just missed a home run, and now a rocket off the bat of Rizzo turns into an out. So Anderson, a bit of good fortune here in the early going. Cubs continue to get good swings. Sooner or later, they're going to break through. Nice play by Aaron Hill. Zobrist has been red hot for a good while now. Batted .500 on the homestand.
Yeah, I did a little numbers crunching. His last 20 games, if you include reaching twice on an error, he has been on base 48 times. His last 20 games. 27 hits, 18 walks. Change up, 2-1.
Anderson, one of those guys who will pitch backwards, get you in a fastball count, and throw that changeup. A rare swing and miss in the zone by Zobrist.
Anderson and Aaron Hill. And by the way, Josh, from his position back over to where he was against Rizzo now with 2 strikes. Were acquired from the Diamondbacks, along with a minor league shortstop and cash for Gene Segura and right-hander Tyler Wagner. Ground ball to first. That's Chris Carter.
That ball pretty well struck.
A reminder, Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Addison Russell with a 9-game hitting streak. That's the curve. Deep breath by the right-hander. He struck him out with a fastball. So Anderson has given him some hard hit balls, but his first strikeout, and he's gone 6 up, 6 down.
Back to Milwaukee, this is your Coors Light in-game report. Had a chance to catch up with bench coach Davey Martinez today and talk a little bit about Javier Baez and working through drills in the field with him. And he says the big thing he's been talking to him about, guys, is responding and not reacting. Respond to a situation. Don't react to it. And in other words, he says he has a tendency to get caught up in the moment, but if he can tell him to just respond, the game won't speed up on him like it does sometimes, and he can just worry about what he's going to do with the ball and let his skill set take over. He says because really it seems elementary, but with him, the skills are all there. It's just reminding him to go through the routine plays. Not every play is going to be an all-star play, which we all know Javier Baez makes plenty of those.
Yeah, that's well explained, Kelly. Thank you. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. 2 balls and no strikes on the Brewers catcher. JD, he's hit .382 so far against righties. Yikes.
Yeah, he's a complete player. I love his work behind the plate. He's one of the better pitch framers in the game.
It's low. 3 balls, no strikes. 5 homers for Lucroy all this month.
Bruce, as I mentioned in the open, they've been pretty good offensively. They're 7th in the league in runs scored. Their pitching has been, their starting pitching in particular, has been just brutal. They're in this rebuild. A guy like Lucroy, you remember this winter, he talked about wanting to be traded, and you might get a very nice package of prospects for him if they decide to pull the trigger on a deal.
Well, when VR is getting on base, and he's got like a .390 on base percentage. He's been good at the top of the order. Braun, always dangerous. Lucroy. Carter can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Well, they have some weapons offensively, no question. Carter on Sunday snapped an 0 for 23. Homer, single, and a game-winning RBI double in his final 3 at-bats against the Padres. He is 8th in the majors in homers since 2013 with 101.
Yeah, he's one of those 3 outcome guys. He hits a lot of home runs, strikes out a whole bunch, but he'll also take his walks.
One and one the count.
Brewers just split a 4-game set with the Padres. And in that series, they were 3 out of 40 with runners in scoring position. Missed out on a lot of opportunities.
One and two.
Big guy, long levers, pretty good at getting the ball in the air. That's his game, trying to drive the ball out of the ballpark. So he doesn't hit it on the ground a lot. Now, Hendricks, of course, is an extreme ground ball pitcher.
Talked to Chris Bosio today about returning to his original organization as a player. He is a member of the Brewers Wall of Honor. 2-2. You like that pitch, huh?
I did. Carter leads the NL with 6 home runs this month. 2-seamer working its way back to the corner.
Ooh. Bounce to Baez. He backs up. He'll get the out at second. That was a little bit of a tweener, and instead of charging it, he played back on it. Gets the out at second.
He backs up to get the convenient hop. No real shot at getting the double play. Charges it and plays it on a short hop. That wouldn't be an easy play either. Would have created a tough angle for the throw.
Yeah, it kind of comes back to Kelly was talking about. Ooh, Hendricks just got out of the way. The ball is foul. The bat went flying back through the box and almost hit Kyle. Yeah, that is dangerous.
Yeah, I thought it got him on the foot. They did get a piece of the foot of the low leg.
Back to Baez, he might make that play on the short hop and turn 2, but if he doesn't, it's 2 on, nobody out.
Right. Yeah. So sometimes you gotta you don't try to make the heroic play, make the smart play. Just let your instincts guide you.
The 0-1 to Santana is a strike. He missed a little time earlier this month with right shoulder tightness.
He's kind of Jorge Soler, isn't he? You know, toolsy guy, big, strong athlete, power, speed. Still trying to figure out the game now. Playing here in Milwaukee in this rebuilding situation, he's going to get a chance to play every day. Soler, he's in a completely different situation with the Cubs, so he's not going to get the same opportunity unless somebody gets hurt. The games are very similar.
Pitch. Count even at 2 apiece. Santana won't turn to 24 until August.
So that's the question, and you know, people say, well, that's an easy answer, but it really isn't. Would you rather be Santana playing every day in the big leagues, or Soler playing as a part-time player on a team that's perhaps headed for great things?
Right. And he went for strike 3. On appeal, they get him, and it was the right call by David Rackley. Here's Neuenhuis, who made that great catch to rob Chris Bryant in the first. What a day around baseball in terms of news. My goodness. Freddie Gonzalez got fired as the Braves manager after they got off to a 9-28 start. Brian Snitker, who was managing AAA Gwinnett, takes over as their interim manager, former Braves big league coach. And an Illinois native. They're getting blown out again tonight, 9-3, 4th inning in Pittsburgh.
Have they said, have the Braves said whether Brian Snitker's demand for the rest of this year, or
when I hear interim,
could be the rest of the year, could be 2 weeks?
One hopper to Ben Zobrist, and that will end the inning. Leadoff walk yields no runs. 0-0 after 2 innings. Time now for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And the Cubs made news today as they agreed to a major league contract with Joe Nathan, who is recovering from Tommy John surgery. The operation was in April of 2015. He has been throwing. He would not be expected to return until probably the second half, but with those career numbers, definitely worth taking a chance. If he's healthy, you hope he can get back to closer form in whatever role he has. That ball deflects off hill right to the shortstop, BR, and he gets Baez. 5-6-3.
Talk about Johnny on the spot.
Rafael Soriano, that one didn't really work out. Low risk. Fernando Rodney contributed last year. Clayton Richard, Trevor Cahill.
I think it's a very shrewd, very smart move. Yeah, you got a guy with a great resume. Pitched in many high leverage situations throughout a lengthy big league career.
Ground ball to Jeanette.
Cub fans, you don't have to wait until summer to enjoy your Fridays. Kick out the weekends with your favorite team. Tickets are still available for hot Friday matchups, including our May 27th game against the Phillies and June 3rd against the Diamondbacks. Get your tickets at Cubs.com. Do it now.
Is that 2 pitches, 2 outs?
It seems like it. Yeah.
So Hendricks does a smart hitter would do, and that is take that first pitch.
And you know, I forgot to flip over my scoreboard. So I need Aaron Hill next inning to start off the inning by hitting a ground ball off the third baseman to the shortstop to keep my score sheet clean. Want to put odds on that happening?
Pretty low. I'm going to say there's less than a 1% chance that'll happen.
If it happens, I'm dropping the mic and walking out of the room.
I was going to say, if it does happen, it'll be all over the news later. Cubs broadcaster Jim Lachey
begged for a deflection and got it.
Quick inning for Anderson. He has faced the minimum through 3. We want to hear from you during tonight's game. Use the hashtag Cubs Talk on Twitter. Be sure to follow at CSN Cubs all season long for the latest news on your favorite team. Starting pitchers have been the story early on. Kyle Hendricks' case, I would say almost always quietly so. Got quite the poker face out there. Doesn't throw hard. Just puts up good results.
Yeah, I mean, his numbers across the board so far this year are outstanding. .218 batting average against. I mentioned just 1 home run. Keep the ball in the ballpark. You don't walk people. And he's better than average in terms of his strikeout rate, which may surprise folks because he's not a real hard thrower. You don't think of him as having a swing and miss breaking ball, but a changeup certainly will get a lot of swings and misses.
Bounce to the shortstop, Russell, and he couldn't get much on it, and Hill is safe. See if they would have had him had Rizzo. Yeah, they would have.
Yeah, I think Addy just kind of threw a changeup across the field. I don't think he ever got a real good grip on that ball. He might have had a little more time just to reset the grip and then turn it loose.
Still waiting for a scoring decision. Leadoff man on for the second consecutive inning. Anderson, the pitcher, bunts foul. They have given Hill a single. Anderson with the Diamondbacks, I mean, used to literally pitch at his home ballpark. It was Chase Field. So I don't know how he felt about the trade.
Probably a little wounded. Played a little slug bunt there. Boy, he had the whole right side of the infield open. Rizzo broke to charge, and Zobrist aggressively ran toward second base. There's the hole that Anderson was shooting for. Before that, it was named for Brenly because it was the Bob.
Well, I was going to say,
right?
his first name is Robert, so it was serendipity, I guess, that he was drafted by the Diamondbacks.
Out of the University of Oklahoma, 9th round, 2009.
There's the bunt. Rizzo will fire to second. They get one, relay late. Anderson, to his credit, charged hard down the line and stayed out of the double play.
It almost looked like his intention there was to try to push that bunt past Rizzo.
3-6. And yet Aaron Hill. Here's VR, who struck out swinging in the first.
Yeah, so this guy, VR, is an extreme ground ball hitter. And you know about Hendricks, the ground ball pitcher. So with the right combination, I think Craig Counsell would play a little hit and run here, but he's probably not likely to do that with his pitcher.
Charged by Zobrist, little flip. Can't turn that one either. VR can run. Third in the majors in stolen bases. You like fielder's choices. This has been your inning.
That's a big inning for the fielder's choice. Just didn't hit it hard enough to turn into a double play.
VR has been overly aggressive on the bases lately, making the third out at third 3 times over a 4-game stretch last week. So we'll watch for that now that he's on base. Pitch to Jeanette. Strike 1. By the way, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported today Freddie Gonzalez got an automated email after last night's game in Pittsburgh about a flight that he was to be on Tuesday back to Atlanta, even though we're continuing that series. So I think Freddie kind of knew at that point that the end was near.
Yes.
That's kind of tough.
Yeah. That's rugged. But once you get over it, Freddie, you've got a great banquet story going forward. Let me tell you a story about how I found out I got fired by the Atlanta Braves in 2016.
I'm a big fan of Freddie's.
Me too.
I think it'll be the last time he manages. All kinds of rumors about who might take that job on a permanent basis. Again, for now, it's Brian Snitker. We had heard reports weeks ago that Bud Black is somebody they might consider. Saw former Cub Mark DeRosa's name thrown out there. Was there something about Chipper Jones? Let's see. According to the story, Chipper Jones not interested in managing the Braves this season, according to a source told Jerry Krasnick of ESPN. So
my money's on Buddy Black, in a long-standing relationship with John Hart, who's running the baseball operation over there. Great resume.
Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled. So VR will have to head back to first. I don't think he realizes it yet. Or maybe he didn't get a piece of it.
Just a swing and a miss.
Oh, it was. Okay. That's his 12th steal. There he goes toward third, and a swing and a foul tip for strike 3 to end the inning. Third strikeout for Hendricks. He's given up the only hit so far. It was an infield single.
The Cubs offer special programs designed for your future Cub, from Kids Sundays at Wrigley Field to Clark's Crew and baseball summer camps held throughout the Chicago area. There are many ways to build lifelong Cub memories with your kids. Visit Cubs.com/kids to learn all about our Cubs Kids offerings. There's a kid. It's like third baseman. Yeah, I see third base in his future.
Curve strike on Fowler. No hits through 3, no base runners through 3. Fowler came in with a .992 OPS. Going into this season, his career mark .781. Line shot center field, and the top spinner is handled by Neuenhuis. Fowler's made contact. Good contact twice for outs.
Been kind of a theme here in the early going for the Cub hitters. Good contact, but nothing to show for it.
Here's Hayward. Here's a fun one from the Cubs notes. Cubs have 5 qualifiers whose OBP over 100 points higher than their batting average. You just look at rate stats. One good way to see if a guy is patient or not is to see that split between the average and the OBP. Hayward is one of those guys. The larger the split, the more walks you take. Right? So,
or yeah, unless I mean you can theoretically have a very low batting average.
Right. So Hayward was 236, 345 going in. Russell 265, 374. Fowler 331, 449. Zobrist 317, 441. How about Rizzo 273, 409. Meantime, Chase Anderson perfect through 4 and seems to be getting more efficient as the night has moved on. Central, join us as we take a tour of one Cub fan's ultimate fan cave. Check out his custom basement. It includes 11 TVs, one more than JD has, a Chris Bryant corner, a bar with 50 autographed bats built into it, and more. This Thursday night on Sportsnet Central at 10.
That's in his house?
Yeah.
Want to hang out with him.
There's Ryan Braun. And he takes a strike. Cubs have won 7 in a row here. 14 of 15 overall against Milwaukee. Swing and a miss. Cubs have lost 5 of 8 at home to Colorado, Atlanta, San Diego. Against everybody else, they're 24-4. They got one more note on their record. A win tonight would push the Cubs to 73-27 over their last 100 regular season games. And 2 bounces. It's Russell.
Now doing his thing here. He's got him hitting the top half of the baseball, beating it into the ground. Both good command of the fastball, setting the tone here early. And both these teams walk a lot. Cubs walk more than anybody in the league, and the Brewers are second.
Ball 1 to Lucroy. He started the second with a walk. Fourteen players, coaches were disciplined earlier today for the big bench clearing brawl between Blue Jays and Rangers on Sunday. A punch heard around the world, right? Rougned Odor and Jose Bautista. Odor got an 8-game suspension.
Bautista only got 1, correct?
Correct. You had an interesting point about Bautista. Well, first of all, he got punched. And I assume he would have thrown a punch had he been able to.
It looked like he was reaching back.
Your point is the slide at second really should have just meant double play. Is that suspendable? I think he said after the game he pretty much admitted that it was an aggressive slide because he was mad he got hit. That one is hit a long way and it's gone. And the Brewers lead 1-0.
We talked in the open about how hot LaCroix had been. He ties his teammate Chris Carter for the league lead in home runs here in the month of May. That's his 6th after going homerless in April. It's just the second long ball allowed by Kyle Hendricks this year. I think they're trying to crowd him with a fastball, and you see it didn't quite get in there enough.
Ford home run replay. Told you Lucroy has killed righties. Walking a homer tonight. There's Carter. Ball 1.
Yeah, so yeah, my point is, I know what I heard him say. Yeah, I went in aggressively. I went in hard. Which there's no rule against aggressive and hard. There's a rule against late and veering off the base to try to make contact. My only point is, well, if he gets suspended for that, then going forward, does every player who is ruled out for aggressively going after a middle infielder, does he become subject to a suspension, or why does it rise to the level of suspension for Bautista, unless just the skirmish that followed?
Yeah, I think in the context of a huge fight, if he doesn't get suspended, I guess it looks odd. Swing and a miss on the changeup. 2 outs.
Because in the fight itself, Odor clearly initiated it.
Here's the play. Late slide, and Odor was ready.
Yeah, both Odor with the push, and then Bautista really has no choice there but to re-engage. That's old-fashioned. That's 70s and 80s style there.
One and one.
So that
Clearly late.
Yeah, that's late. But what, under the old rule would have been acceptable, maybe not ethical, but not illegal. So Batista's, really, if you break it down, other than the fact that the league probably felt like he's got to get something, or else people in Texas are going to blow a gasket on us here.
You're not convinced the pitch was intentional?
Well, I'm just saying there's a case to be made. I would come down on the side of intentional, but there's a case to be made otherwise.
Right, there's an assumption by just about everybody it was. Lucroy with a home run. It's 1-0 Milwaukee as we go to the fifth. All season long on CSNChicago.com. Presented by Nationwide. Jeff Vukovich, serving the community for 38 years. Go to jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Chase Anderson. Perfect through 4.
Talked about his woes of late, an 8.88 ERA and 5 losses in his last 5 starts. His first 2 starts were very good. Scoreless baseball both times.
Up by Carter.
Brewers starters have a league worst 5.83 earned run average. Craig Counsell has not seen many efforts like this one here tonight.
strike. Rolled foul. It's a little hazy in here right now because actually they have fireworks that go off after a home run right above second base.
Are you telling me that fireworks went off in here and I missed them?
You didn't see it?
No. I was focusing on the Ford home run replay. Not only did I not see it, I didn't hear it either. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure, because I remember Zobrist and Russell looking up going, what in the world's going on above my head? It's really loud. Aaron Hill.
The zone defense is paying off for the Brewers here tonight. Anderson, first 4 outs of the game. There's 3 really well struck balls, 2 deep ones, a line out. Since then, it's just about everything on the ground and a couple of punch outs.
Curve strike. He seems to be gaining confidence with every inning. Yeah, these are the scary type nights. You hit a bunch of rockets early for outs. And let that guy settle in. 1-1.
Yeah, and what happens too when you establish early in the game that you're going to be around the plate, the hitters tend to get hitterish, even a patient group like the Cubs. So he's been much more efficient than most starting pitchers we've seen throughout this year. His pitch count was 54 pitches here in the 5th. Most starters against the Cubs are 85 to 90 by now.
Take 3-1. Opening day starter Willie Peralta really scuffling. His ERA is over 7. His spot was thought to be in jeopardy. He will make his next start on Friday.
Taylor Youngman sent to the minor leagues.
Foul tip. Strike 3. Anderson perfect through 5, leading 1-0. Well, the Cubs without a base runner through the first 5 innings against Chase Anderson. Kyle Hendricks has pitched well, but is trailing. Neuenhuis with the big play early robbed Chris Bryant of maybe a home run, at least a double. Leaping grab at the wall just to the left of straightaway center.
Cubs continue this incredible run of quality starts. This time through the rotation. Been outstanding. Lester had a no-hitter for 6 1/3 on Sunday. Allowed just the 1 run.
That's low, 1-2. Brewers have 1 no-hitter in their history, and that was Juan Nieves in Baltimore, April 15th, 1987, caught by Bill Schroeder, the Brewers TV analyst. Neuenhuis strikes out. 3 in a row now for Hendricks since the homer.
Well, the Cubs are performing on the field, but need your help to get to the All-Star game this July. Help send your Chicago All-Stars to San Diego by voting early and often. Vote now at Cubs.com/vote. You can vote up to 5 times a day and up to 35 times total.
Hill had quite a night May 7th in Cincinnati. 3 homers, 7 RBIs, and a 13-7 win. His final homer was a game-winning grand slam in the 10th. The 3 homers, the 7 knocked in, tied a franchise single-game record. About a week before that, he started a 5-4-3 triple play against the Miami Marlins. Zobrist makes the catch. And remember, Aaron Hill hit for 2 cycles within 2 weeks back in 2012.
Need to have a good baseball bingo card. All these singular events is
part of a lot of history.
He's checked off a lot of things on his bucket list.
Strike to the pitcher Anderson.
So time of game is up about 7 minutes so far here this year.
Commissioner's not too thrilled about it.
This one looks like it's going to bring the average down a wee bit.
So we go to the 6th. It's 1-0 Milwaukee. in perspective, our Xfinity high-speed action. How about the 77 ALCS? Royals and Yankees, a little kick by Greg Nettles, and George Brett said enough. I think that was late in the series. Might have been the last game.
No ejections there.
No ejections. Earlier in the series, Brett with a ground ball to Greg Nettles had trouble getting it out of his glove, and Willie Randolph just got knocked over by Al McRae. Look at that. Look how late. And then we finish with Nettles against Frank White. Yeah. This is second base.
Yep, and getting down after what McRae did. Nettles exacting a little revenge. It makes what
and this is what we're worried about.
Bautista did. Oh, smiled, didn't it?
Child's play. No, not that punch. That was serious business. But the slide itself looked pretty tame comparatively, didn't it?
Oh, it's just, well, Hal McRae had a reputation of being one of the hardest nosed players of his era. That was just incredible. He flew off the base. Great Ty Cobb. Baseball is a red-blooded sport for red-blooded men. It's no pink tea, and Molly Coddles had better stay out.
Cubs are just trying to find a way to get on base. They haven't done it yet as Baez fouls. Mention the Brewers with one no-hitter in their history. There has been one pitched here by Carlos Zambrano of the Cubs against the Astros, 2008. Only a neutral site no-hitter. Carter will flip to the pitcher.
Well, I thought Anderson was fortunate early in the ball game, got away with some stuff out over the middle of the plate, but that's not the case now. Through the middle innings, there's been a lot of soft contact as he's worked that fastball in on the hands. He's got some swings and misses at his changeup.
Montero, since coming back from the DL, 0 for 5. Make sure you follow In-Game Live on CSNChicago.com, presented by State Farm. Chase Anderson is from Wichita Falls, Texas. He had 3 no-hitters as a high school senior. He went to Rider High. Drafted twice by the Twins out of high school and then out of junior college. Flow rounds, but didn't sign, went to Oklahoma instead. Getting ready for the sausage race. One and two. Missed most of 2011 in the minors with elbow issues. Debuted at the big league level 2 seasons ago with the Diamondbacks. Nice grab, young man. McCoy wants the change, and that's a tough pitch to lay off when you're down in the count. Montero did 2-2.
On his way to an outstanding performance here tonight. He has never pitched a complete game in the major leagues. He was 9-7 with the Diamondbacks in An inaugural year for him, 2014, had a 4.01 ERA. Followed that up by going 6-6 with a 4.30 last year, making 27 starts.
There's the first Cub base runner. One out walk. Perfection is always a great goal to have, but will not be accomplished. Anderson still hasn't allowed a hit. And here's Hendricks. I don't want to make your head hurt, but why can't a complete game shutout with 4 hits and no walks be considered as impressive as a no-hitter with 4 walks?
Yeah,
if you're aggressive and doesn't take as many pitches, shouldn't matter, right? If you don't give up any runs. It's foul. The answer is because
we have placed a.
It's not a no walker.
Yeah, there's no sense. No. Wow, he almost had a no walker.
These teams see a lot of pitches. In fact, the Brewers as a group, they see more pitches per plate appearance than the Cubs do. 4.06. Kyle strikes out, 2 gone.
Well, we were talking earlier about the length of game being up some 7 minutes, and the commissioner's not happy about it, and hoping to get players to kind of focus back on trying to pick up the tempo a little bit. But that's a big part of it. The more strikeouts, steeper counts, players seeing more pitches. And a byproduct of the style, the way the game is played now.
They don't think replay has really been a big factor, just because there aren't that many of them. He said that's more of a pace issue than it is a time of game issue. Joe's point about replay the other day was pre-replay. He used to spend a lot of time running out to second base to make arguments. And he doesn't have to do that now.
Unless you want to argue with the home plate umpire like Brad Ausmus did yesterday.
Oh, wow.
That was fun, wasn't it?
He got suspended for it.
He got his money's worth at least. Piled his sweatshirt up on home plate.
So bench coach Gene Lamont managing the Tigers. Ausmus' absence tonight, 2-2 as they play the Twins. They're in the 7th. Foul tip.
That changeup bought him a little time for the heater. The guy's staying back on the changeup, respecting the changeup, late on the fastball.
Montero runs. And he'll get a stolen base out of it. He's pretty happy about it.
Well, it's a good time to gamble, right? Obviously, they're not thinking about Montero running. There's 2 strikes on Fowler. So even if he gets thrown out, Fowler leads off the next inning. You've got a pretty good chance you're going to see an off-speed pitch in that count.
Swing and a miss. Montero with the 4th steal of his career, but Anderson no hitting the Cubs through 6. Getting serious now. 1-0. David Occam leads the Fire into a huge road trip finale against the New York Red Bulls. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. on CSN+. That Red Bulls team, they got a lot of energy.
They're named after the drink or the animal?
I'm assuming the drink.
Probably is no such thing. Is there a Red Bull? Is there an animal? Is there a variation of a bull?
Could be. You usually know these things.
I don't know that.
Good nickname. Aficionado. Here's VR. Looks to the 1-0. It's outside again.
Need to recalibrate. Just keeps leaking off the outside corner.
Leadoff walk.
Brad Ausmus, normally a pretty calm guy, but there's a fire that burns within.
Team's been struggling. People have been asking him about his job security.
Apparently his guys, as they came back to the dugout throughout that game, were complaining about the strike zone.
Ooh. Broken bat flare for a base hit. VR with a good read, although he's thinking about third. Made the right decision to drop anchor at second. Trouble here, for Kyle.
Crisis point here, first and second, nobody out. Ron LaCroix, Carter due to bat. And the guy on the other side is pitching no-hit baseball. Ron has grounded to short both times tonight. That would work here nicely. He's done a lot of damage against the Cubs. Really put up big numbers at Wrigley.
He's just a really, really good player.
He's good at baseball.
Yeah, and Cub fans usually boo him every time he comes to the plate in Chicago after the suspension a few years ago. He's had trouble staying healthy. When he is, he's incredibly productive. One and one. Third, he will score. Jeanette to third. It's 2-0 and still nobody out.
That's just smart hitting on a couple of levels. One, he's always been good at going the other way. Has good power to right field. But this, I think a lot of it is he's just making sure that ball gets deep in the strike zone so he doesn't roll over and pull another ground ball to shortstop. That could have turned into a rally-killing double play. Instead, he stays inside the ball, keeps the hands in, flips it the other way. Good solid line drive single to push home a run.
Chris Bosio to the mound. Trevor Cahill, the sinker baller, is up, going into your living room. And we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching tonight on CTI Fiber in Taylorville, Illinois. Glad to have you with us. Bring up the red-hot Lucroy. He's now homered in 3 consecutive games, including tonight.
Let's play for 2 in the middle.
Fouled off. The Polish won the sausage race. Okay. People on Twitter wanting to know.
That was my call in the pregame.
It was?
Yeah.
You were pretty excited.
I was very excited because it was off the pace. I thought he was going to run out of time.
Popped up. And Montero has it. Big first out.
Boy, Jonathan LaCroix usually very good getting that man home. This time fails to do it. Good pitch by Hendricks.
Carter 0 for 2. Trouble right center. And it'll get to the wall. Jeanette is in. Braun's going to be sent by Ed Cedar. Relay throw late. 2-run double, Chris Carter, and it's 4-0. Will be it for Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah, he was going along nicely aside from the home run by LaCroix, but a leadoff walk here to get things started in this inning. Kind of unraveled from there. Jeanette's ball not sharply hit, but good at bat by Braun. Very good swing by Carter, and for the first time ever, Kyle Hendricks has a rough start here in this ballpark.
It's a Weber sauces and seasonings call to the pen. Call grilling flavor up to the bigs. Here's Trevor Cahill when we return. Seasonings call to the pen. Call grilling flavor up to the bigs.
Trevor Cahill trots out of the bullpen for the 14th time. 3.60 earned run average. This worked on Friday against the Pirates. Finished that ball game, couple innings, allowed a couple of runs, a home run to Andrew McCutchen. It's a one-sided affair. The Cubs won that ball game 9-4.
We're at second, 3 runs in. And the pitch to Santana, low and outside. Reds have not had a lot of fun in Cleveland this week. Last night they lost 15-6. Tonight 13-1. Alfredo Simon.
Yeah.
Are you sitting?
I am.
4 1/3, 14 hits, 10 runs, all earned.
Well, he's had a tough go of it, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
The Cubs didn't make it out of the first inning in that one start. And it's not going to be the line of the night, though. Aaron Blair of the Braves, the kid who we saw pitch so well, gave up 9 in an inning and a third.
Ooh. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for out number 2.
Hat trick for Mr. Santana. Big Brave fans are second guessing Brian Snitker. How can you let that kid stand there that long?
Hey, I just got here.
Give me a break, folks.
To second. Zobrist will get Neuenhuis. Cubs without a hit though through 6, trailing now 4-0 as we go to the 7th. Chase Anderson's been really good tonight. I wouldn't say he's been brilliant. He gave up hard contact early, but he's gotten better as the night has gone on. Well, he's 9 outs away. His career high innings pitched 8 in Miami last year on May 20th. That was with the Diamondbacks.
Still have 3 whacks at him here. They got to find a way to put a little pressure on, get a base runner or 2, put him in the stretch.
Jason Hayward. Ball 1. Wide and the pitch. It's a strike. It was similar to the first one, but he got the call that time.
It's like he had 2 half strikes and they add up to 1. If you're a pitcher, you think those are both strikes. Any part of the ball on any part of the plate should be a strike.
Back at third. Hill puts the claps on the first out. Juan Nieves, 1987. This no-hitter always stood out to me because of the way the game ended. Eddie Murray in the air to center, and watch Robin Yount. Did he have to dive? I don't know, but looked cool, didn't it?
Indeed it did.
Curve is low. That guy was behind the plate that night. Fly to right. Fairly deep, but very playable for Santana. I was reminded CC Sabathia had a one-hitter in Pittsburgh, I think in '08, and it was a disputed hit. A lot of people here thought he should have had a no-hitter. I vaguely recall that game. Got a lot of options here in terms of guys to break it up. Rizzo lined out his first time, grounded out in the 5th. Still only one base runner. That was the walk to Montero in the 6th.
More evidence that betting on baseball is not a wise idea. Look at the matchups, the way Hendricks had pitched in this ballpark, the way he had pitched against the Brewers in his career. Not that he pitched poorly, he had basically one bad inning here tonight, but that against Anderson, who had a 8.88 ERA over his last 5 starts, probably would have pushed your chips into the middle of the table on Kyle Hendricks and the Cubs.
Called strike 3. And the Brewers, I don't think, realize that that's the 3rd out of the inning.
Whose inning's going that fast?
The entire team just stood there after the strike call. Stretch time.
We head to the bottom half of the 7th. Experience the Budweiser bleachers under the left field video board, and one of Wrigley's newest amenities, the left field porch. This private area offers great views of the game, both sunny and shaded areas. Available in the 50 to 100 blocks. You will enjoy lounge-style seating, unlimited beverages, and access 2 hours prior to first pitch. For more information, visit Cubs.com/premier.
And Hill pulls foul against Trevor Cahill. So We went from code orange to code red, right? 6 outs to go.
Yeah, I would say
you're in the red zone now. Hayward makes the play. Back to what you were talking about, and it speaks to the nature of this game and singular performances. The recent struggles for Anderson. Philip Humber threw a perfect game for the Chicago White Sox a few years ago and then never really capitalized on it. Arrieta goes almost against the grain in that regard, that he's been in a great stretch and he's thrown 2 no-hitters, but it's not like there are these symptoms of it for an offense or really for a pitcher that predicts somebody's going to throw.
Right, yeah, I mean it's and that's why you talk about managers, get criticized sometimes. They'll give a guy a day off when he's been hot. There's nothing about baseball that says just because you've gotten hits in your last 5 games that you're going to get a hit in the next game.
Deflects off the glove of Cahill to Russell to go 1-6-3. I do wonder, though, late in games, with all the defensive shifting that goes on, no hitters, whether a guy would try to lay down a bunt for an easy hit. We'll find out. Folks may be in that situation here later. A lot of it depends on the score, doesn't it? 4-0 Brewers. Chase Anderson's career high in innings pitched is 8. He is through 7 tonight, and he's been pretty darn efficient. And the reason being, he has not allowed a hit. He has walked 1, and I thought you were all over it. He was aggressive early, gave up some really hard contact, and he's been able to expand a little bit and stay out of the barrel.
Yeah, he was willing to challenge, whether by design or not. He threw some pitches out over the heart of the plate early on, got away with it, and the second inning he started to put the ball in on the hands, out toward the edges a little bit, got a lot more weak contact.
Deep to center, and it will get right at the base of the wall. No hitter tonight. Ben Zobrist breaks it up with a leadoff double.
Well, 6 outs to play with. We'll see if that gets anybody up in the Brewer bullpen. You wouldn't think so, the way this kid has gone along, but anytime you get into the later stages of the game, You want to be ready to react. If you're Craig Counsell, fastball down and in. Good swing by Zobrist. Heiser made that great catch back in the first on Bryant. Had no chance to run that one down.
You have Ben Zobrist. Break up the no-hitter in your pool, you win.
And if you had Ben Zobrist in your no-hitter pool and Polish in the sausage race and a perfecta, you win big.
If you are wondering how to do a no-hitter pool, what usually happens is after 3 innings, if there's a no-hitter going, you need 10 people to be involved, or at least there are 10 outcomes. There's the 0-1, and Russell pops it up. Jeanette makes the catch. You pull numbers out of a hat corresponding to the batting order. That guy breaks up the no-hitter. So if you pull 1 and 4, leadoff guy or the 4th hitter, and then the 10th one would be the no-hitter.
And he actually gets the no-hitter. We used to use the deck of cards.
Okay.
So if you had drawn the 5, corresponds as Zobrist on the batting order, you win all the points.
Now the question is, with 5 outs to go, can the Cubs come back here down 4 runs? Justin Grimm in the Cubs bullpen. Way up in the air to right. Zobrist on his way to 3rd. 2 outs.
Treat your clients and guests to an all-inclusive suite experience this season at Wrigley Field on the Nuveen Investment Suite level. Businesses and individuals alike find suites to be the perfect private setting to host their guests. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, visit Cubs.com/premier. The matchup of the night in New York tonight. Max Scherzer for the Nationals, Noah Syndergaard for the Mets. It was a 2-0 Met win. Syndergaard got the win. Scherzer suffered the loss. Couple solo home runs. Granderson and Conforto. They each punched out 10.
Mets snap a 4-game losing streak, and they're within a half game of the lead, as are the Phillies, who beat the Marlins tonight. Zoe made sure that Z still has the only no-no in this ballpark. 2-1. Still have not been no hit on the road since 1965.
Colfax?
Yeah. Ground ball to the shortstop, VR. Chase Anderson shutting out the Cubs on 1 hit through 8, 4-0.
Holder waiting list today to claim your spot in our lineup for season tickets. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list.
Hendricks and Cahill for the Cubs. The line on the starter, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs. He walked 2, struck out 6, gave up 1 homer. Cahill finishes this inning. It'll be 2 2/3 for him tonight. And he might be closing in on a tourniquet. He has retired all 5 he's faced.
Yeah, I would think if he gets out of this unscathed, he's definitely earned himself a tourniquet.
Come in with your team trailing and pitch during one of our broadcasts when we just kind of decide whatever the nebulous stat is
and randomly assign it.
They proclaim it's a tourniquet, which is just keep your team in the game, save your bullpen.
Make sure you call your agent afterwards and make sure he knows that you earned a tourniquet so you can take that to the negotiating table next winter.
Here's Braun. RBI single and a run in the 6th. Another question is, will Chase Anderson be given an opportunity to finish this game? 98 pitches through 8. If I had to make a guess, I would lean yes.
Yeah, he's going back out there. He's been so efficient. Braun looks bigger to me this year than last. Spent a little extra room in the time in the weight room. Such a great piece of hitting by him last time up in the 6th with runners on 1st and 2nd. Ground ball could have very well cleaned up that inning for Kyle Hendricks, and he shot it to right field for a base hit.
Chase one low and in the dirt for strike 3. Time now for the Cubs' upcoming game schedule, brought to you by Travel Wisconsin. Plan your fun today at travelwisconsin.com. Lackey and Nelson tomorrow night. Hamill and Junior Guerra. We've not seen him. That'll be Thursday afternoon. Hamill, perfect 5-0 to start his season.
And looking ahead to the Giants series, I think the Cubs miss both Cueto and Samardzija.
Jake Arrieta will pitch Friday night.
The guys at the back end of that rotation for the Giants have really struggled. Matt Cain and Jake Peavy have two of the higher ERAs in baseball.
Troy with the go-ahead home run in the 4th. Too much doubt about it.
Yeah, I saw Kyle drop his head immediately. He knew where this was going to end up.
That will end the inning. Trevor Cahill gets a tourniquet. 4-0. Last chance now as we go to the 9th.
Field is by using public transportation. The Cubs offer a free bike check. It is located by the Addison Red Line station, and if you drive, the Cubs provide free remote parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. For information, visit the A to Z guide at Cubs.com.
Chase Anderson warms up for the 9th. Tommy LaStella will pinch hit in the 9th spot for Trevor Cahill, who did not allow a base runner in his 2 2/3. LaStella, Fowler, and Hayward here in the 9th. Just into the game, already aggravated with the Buscuccione strike zone. Way outside, 1-1.
Anderson has maintained this quick tempo all night long.
Jeremy Jeffress, a closer, is up if needed, and it might be his one base runner. High drive to center. Neuenhuis camped under it. Thursday here on CSN, Jason Hamill looks to remain unbeaten as the Cubs and Brewers wrap up this series. Coverage starts at noon with Cubs pregame live. This series is sponsored by Blue Harbor Resort. You know, his earned run average is exactly what the Cy Young Award winners was last year. Jason Hamill, 177.
Yeah, he's been outstanding.
And it doesn't lead the team, right? Jake Arrieta has a 129. John Lester has a 188. The highest ERA among the Cubs starters is John Lackey. As Fowler grounds out. 2 outs, 354, and Lackey will pitch tomorrow night. Well, there's that one hitter we told you about back in 2008 was CC Sabathia. And it's up to Hayward.
Cubs shut down by Garrett Cole on Sunday. He went 8 innings of scoreless baseball. And Drew Pomerantz for the Padres punched out 10 and 6 scoreless innings in his start. This Anderson effort here reminds me a little bit of the when we saw the Rockies and the Bettis and Chatwood, the 2 right-handers. It's really good games against the Cubs. And the same MO. Work quickly, throw a lot of strikes, aggressive with the fastball.
For his first career complete game and shutout, and a drive out into deep right center, way back toward the wall. Gone! Jason Hayward has his first home run as a Chicago Cub. On an 0-2 pitch.
Well, that's a bit of irony, isn't it? Anderson looking for his first ever shutout. Hayward looking for his first home run as a Cub.
Ford home run replay. It's not where Chase Anderson wanted it. It was exactly where Hayward did, and a good effort by Santana to try to grab that ball before it got into the bullpen. Here's Bryant.
Count's going to let Anderson try to finish this ball game, but I suspect if Bryant reaches, he'll go to the pen.
Bryant high and deep left field. Braun at the wall. It's gone. Back to back. 2-run ball game.
It's almost like the clock struck midnight and Cinderella's running down the steps. Her slipper fell off.
Another Ford home run replay. And that will end Chase Anderson's night. It will create a save spot for the Brewers closer, Jeremy Jeffress. This game is not over yet. We'll be right back. Hefty home runs back-to-back. Hayward and Bryant with 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Comes down to the final out. And let's see, Weber sauces and seasonings called to the pen, and with the tying run on deck, Jeremy Jeffress, who's 10 for 10 in save chances, can get number 11. But it won't be easy. Rizzo coming up. It's Zobrist on deck.
Yeah, this Cub lineup, he's so much power, certainly capable of late game heroics with the long ball. You see Hayward talking to Zobrist about Jeffress. Anxious Chase Anderson looks on. Jeffress, hard thrower, he gets mid-90s with a fastball, sharp curveball and a changeup. 2 seamers, gets a lot of ground balls with that pitch.
Rizzo's always put up big numbers here in this ballpark. Tied for the major league lead currently with 34 RBIs, and he takes strike 1. Jeffress was to share closer duties with left-hander Will Smith. Smith on the DL with a knee injury. Oh, 2.
Jeffress with 23 saves last year, 28 tries. Bury that breaking ball down and in under the hands of Rizzo. You got to be careful though, because he's so close to the plate. We've seen him swing at pitches that ultimately hit him, and Rizzo's in any way to get on mode right now. Choking up on the bat.
Wants to throw the breaking ball again, and it works this time, as the Brewers take game 1 and snap a 7-game home losing streak against the Cubs, going back to last year. So Anderson gets his 2nd win and the longest start of his career. Hendricks takes the loss. Jeffress gets his 11th save.
It's interesting. The game started with the Cubs putting some good swings on Anderson to no avail. And then it ends as they touch him up for a couple of home runs here in the 9th, but a whole lot of nothing in between. Credit him. He was outstanding here tonight. A well-deserved win for Chase Anderson, and solid effort for Kyle Hendricks tonight as well. 1 bad inning, his undoing.
Toast of the game is presented by Vinny's Beverage Depot, and it is the starter and winner for Milwaukee. Anderson, again, just his 2nd win. Vinny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. We're back on the air here on CSN, noon Central on Thursday. Series finale, Cubs and the Brewers. For JD and our